Welcome to the Empireo, ladies and gentlemen. This is the longest stage in the game, as it has 4 levels and 2 bosses, and it is one of the most challenging ones.
The first of the great trials is a road split into 3 paths. Beware the mystery blocks, and tackle these stairs with all your wit and skill.
Hey, Mutton! If you're behind this, then you can hear me, right? Say something!
Of course I can hear you. I can see you. And your underpants. Welcome to my realm. It's admirable that only a human could...
Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it.
It would be a bore to kill you immediately when I was the one who came up here.
I remember, man.
Now, show me those skills that helped you survive this week. Now, welcome to my realm.
So as I said, the Empireo is really challenging, due to the fact that it has a lot of random put into its architecture. You may have noticed those blocks veiled by red curtains. Those are surprise blocks. When you step on them, they can become any block other than a black hole block and an unmovable dark block. They are a huge pain in the ass, especially given the fact that I know it's completely random, but it seems like they turn into bomb blocks most of the time. It took me quite a few tries just to do every single level of this in one sitting. Unfortunately, I didn't do my usual routine where I just practice a lot and then do the gold prize runs on the LP run, because this stage is just so challenging that I was running out of memory card space, and I just decided I needed to do it in post, especially for the sake of commentary. Definitely when I was playing this game, I wasn't really focused on talking about the commentary, or talking about the game, rather. Yeah, the thing about surprise blocks is that you have to step off of them right away, because there is a chance that they could turn into trap blocks and you don't want to stay on top of them. But sometimes they'll turn into crack blocks, so when you step off of them, you just waste a step, and you honestly won't know until after you've done it, so... Honestly, a surprise block turning into a crack block is probably more devastating than it turning into a trap block, because if it turns into a crack block, then you only get one more step on it, and it's like, crack blocks are just the worst. Crack blocks and bomb blocks are just the worst. This is where I kind of fuck some shit up right here, but... yeah. I'm pretty sure when I redid this in post, like, I had a much cleaner run than this, but not that it matters, I still got gold prize on it. That's all that matters to me. But yeah, on top of surprise blocks, there's another new type of block called monster blocks. Those blocks that you saw with the teeth, those blocks will move on their own, but they will die if you step on top of them. But you can't hang off the front. They'll just lick you off. Monster blocks really aren't that bad. They can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but they really aren't that bad.
I got it. I made it! Here we go!
I didn't think you'd come this far. Come on up.
Not bad. But this is just the beginning. It'd be boring for you to die here, wouldn't it? Well, give me your best shot.
So who is he? I never found out. Mutton's never said anything about him.
Alright, so now we have more confessional questions. These are going to be the questions to freedom. They don't affect your karma meter, but they do affect your ending.
Hey, it's me, again.
Here's something else. Well, sit down then. I've been waiting for you. I knew you'd make it here. This is heaven. Even higher than the cathedral.
You lying bastard. You said I'd be free after I beat the cathedral. Son of a bitch! My girlfriend just dumped me. I'll never accept this ending.
But you came here by your own choice. And now, I will ask you how prepared you are to pursue your freedom.
This is the first question to freedom. Are you prepared to risk your life to get back together with a former lover?
This question actually does not affect your ending whatsoever. But I'm an all-or-nothing kind of guy.
You're brave. But just because you can see her again doesn't mean things will go well for you. Be prepared, though. You're challenging him.
All that hinting that the person who put me here was close to me, like it was a friend or a lover, when it was just the bartender.
Just the bartender? I may not look it, but I am a god.
Damn it. Where are you guys? Why don't you tell me who you are?
All right. My name is Astaroth. I watch you humans from a world high above.
Astaroth? A world above?
What? You weren't satisfied with my introduction? That's too bad. We'll talk further on. If you're still alive.
Wait.
I really don't think the surveys here have much bearing, but I guess they threw them in for aesthetic anyway. Or maybe they put the surveys in like way far ahead of time, not even knowing that it was going to be like one of the penultimate questions.
The second great trial is the Illusion Road. Monster blocks can move on their own and will fling you off if you hang on to them.
Can I do it next time too? I have to do it.
Commencing Area 2. Are you ready?
Oh, one of the biggest downsides about these stages is that you can have a really good run, and then it just gets completely fucked over because all the surprise blocks you step on turn out to be bomb blocks.
Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it.
And that was some circus shit. Sometimes one of the biggest dick moves that those bomb blocks can do is that you can jump on top of them, but they'll move at the same time, so that if you jump on top of them, you end up falling to your death.
Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it.
And now we have new enemies. You actually saw these guys back in the Spiral Corridor, but they were never with us on a stage. Those are the red main sheep. They will kill you if they attack you. They can also climb up 2 blocks at a time. This stage in general is kind of a pain in the ass because there are a lot of surprise blocks, and your run is pretty much dependent on what these surprise blocks turn into. Like that. But the Empireo is a straight-up skill check. I kind of like the surprise blocks because they keep you on your toes. And that really kind of sucks because he set off the bomb block before I could kill him. They keep you on your toes, so it's just like, hey, yeah, you gotta... You can't just look up someone else doing this and succeed. You have to actually adapt to... You gotta actually adapt to it, and you just gotta adapt to stupid shit. I thought that spring block was gonna help me out, but it didn't. So this part I kinda hesitate here because it's very weird going through this part with all these monster blocks moving about, and all these surprise blocks. Past me, what the fuck are you doing? There was a clear solution. What the fuck? Okay. What are you doing? Come on. Stop wasting my time. No. I'm trying to give advice to myself in the past. Oh, actually. Oh, that's why I wasn't doing that, because it wouldn't have stayed connected. Okay. I'm calling myself stupid in the past, but past me is apparently smarter than future. Okay. I'm pretty sure in my post-run I have a much cleaner run than that, but this is what it is. Now imagine doing this level and getting that far, and all those surprise blocks turned out to be bomb blocks. Every single one of them. It can happen.
Well done, Vincent Brooks. You are quite a man.
You survived. For a guy running around in his boxers, you're pretty quick. But you've got a long way to go before you can face me. Will you be able to survive the next one?
You make it sound like boxers are not easy to run in, or they're not breathable to run in at all. Like, at all.
So he's not working for Mutton or something? I'm here. Hurry up.
All right then, sit. You made it through that most difficult of stages. Good for you. I praise the fight in you. Before we continue, I want to make sure of one thing. I want to know what is inside you. If it's the truth within you, then your future will be blessed.
This is the second question to freedom. Do you wish for a peaceful life?
I do wish for a peaceful life. Who wouldn't?
Which one?
This is actually supposed to determine whether you align with law or chaos.
I see. I understand. I will answer a question of yours, too. You were covered in desire, in temptation, which cast you down here. Lies, deceit, betrayal. Oh, it's terrible. This is a place where sinners are tried. Haven't you heard of it? This judgment will have a positive impact on the future of humanity.
So, this is about the good of mankind? Wow, that's so beautiful, it makes me want to cry. But why is it just men?
This city is filled with traitors. I ordered him to bring the lowest of the low, like you, here.
Hey, don't call me that. Even if it might be true. But that means you're behind all this. Show me your face.
You'll never see his face. Not in 1,000 years. Besides, isn't knowing his name enough?
That's enough talk. Let's move on. I wish you the best of luck.
I don't need your wishes. I'm not gonna lose.
Now what I mean by that is, I believe the game developers asked it as a question more like, do you prefer an orderly, simple life? I wish they would have worded it better, because it's like, who would say no to a peaceful life? The only people who would say no to a peaceful life is if they know it leads to a certain ending, or if they think it's a trick.
The third great trial is the Forked Cliff. There is no one way to climb this wall. Trust your instincts.
Blocks. I'm gonna climb the shit out of you.
Commencing Area 3. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's climb the shit out of these blocks. So, this is the forked tower. Its gimmick is that it has two sides that are completely identical, but you need to switch back and forth between both sides, you know, to win. There aren't as many surprise blocks in this level as the last, but there are still a considerable amount that can determine whether your run succeeds or fails. And of course we have red maned sheep here to fuck up all your shit. They'll especially fuck you up if you let them, like, climb around and destroy crack blocks and destroy your footing. That might have been a little more work than necessary, but hey. That was definitely more work than necessary. Honestly, the beginning of this stage is probably the trickiest part. Once you get to, like, this point right here, it becomes somewhat straightforward. Oh man, I really don't want to step on that bomb block. There we go. And of course the surprise block ends up being a bomb block. Trying to avoid stepping on bomb blocks as much as possible, but sometimes the game just straight up leaves you no choice. Sometimes in that situation you kind of just hope that you climb fast enough to outrun the bomb block explosion, and not just outrun the explosion, but outrun the damage that it does. Because you don't want to be stepping all over crack blocks. That's a fate worse than death. No chances. What a dick. Oh, that was actually a really good move. Pushing that big row of trap blocks over to get more footing that way, that's... So, you can either... You could actually end this stage with less steps, but I want more steps. Another thing to be wary of is that you can carry some of those books that remove enemies over, and if you use them on later levels, they can fuck up your scoring and end up giving you silver prize. I think that's what happened to me on this level in my initial run.
You still haven't died? You really have quite the luck. But Lady Luck can't help you now. It's the real goodbye next time. Now prepare to die.
Damn it. Can't beat him up or anything? I don't think he's my enemy. Hey, how's it going? I'm still alive.
Amazing. Well, sit. Good, Vincent. The way you climb is a work of art.
I can't let anything slow me down. And I've come this far.
There is no correct answer to this trial. So I'm going to ask a question of you, who has made it this far. I'm going to ask you one more time.
This is the third question to freedom. Do you wish for the excitement of chaos?
Which one?
I don't like unpredictability.
This one?
I rather prefer to have a direction kind of laid out, so...
Damn it, I don't know.
Oh, I see. This is the midway point here in heaven. I'll take you to the next trial. I'll be praying for a good performance. And for your success.
There's nothing to do but climb. I'm getting out of here.
The fourth great trial is a narrow path to the final battle. The floors will crumble quickly. Use all your cunning to sprint your way to the top.
Fine. You just keep climbing then. Wait for me, Catherine.
Commencing Area 4. Are you ready?
This stage sucks. This is probably the worst stage in the Empireo. Because the path is so narrow, and there are bomb blocks and crack blocks everywhere, as well as two red maned sheep stepping on all sorts of shit right at the beginning. And a bunch of red maned sheep that step on a bunch of shit later on in the level. This level sucks. And honestly, like the last one, it's pretty much just the beginning that's the hard part. Because of the fucking bomb blocks. Which I probably could have avoided, but that sheep would have stepped on it anyway. I guess the key is to, if you do set off a bomb block, try not to step on the crack blocks as much as possible, or try not to push blocks to make you lose footing, because breaking blocks will definitely do that, and that monster block is an asshole. Try to outrun explosions too, to avoid stepping on crack blocks. It's just... this game wants you to think cunningly, and it wants you to think fast. At least this level does. I don't know why I pulled that out. I think I pulled that out because I thought that was gonna block him off, but I was just like, oh wait, it's a red maned sheep. He can climb up 2 fucking blocks. It's getting really annoying. I kind of wish I held on to that book, but using that book probably would have costed me gold prize.
I got it.
Oh man, if that sheep would have came over and came up that way, that would have sincerely fucked me, but yeah.
Alright, I got it.
I was wondering how I was going to get that patch of gold coins down there, and I was just like, I don't even remember what I do. Oh, I do that. Watching this post-commentary is kind of weird. But it looks like we're kind of at an easy-ish part of the level. We have a spring block right there that could definitely be of use. It'd be much more use than trying to make footing up the left side because of that fucking crack block. No. Or go up the left side anyway, even though you could have stepped down, pushed, spring. Okay. I don't know, sometimes when you play these levels for so long, especially after you take such a long hiatus to do audio engineering, it's just, it just happens. So, again, this is one of those situations where you could step on these surprise blocks, and you could be blessed with good blocks like those, or they could all be bomb blocks. And again, I know it's completely random, but I feel like bomb blocks show up much more often.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. A little more. I got it. 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 I made it!
But yeah, it kind of sucks when you have challenging stages like these that are legitimately challenging, but then they just have a random factor in it that makes you want to just completely deny the fact that they're just challenging, just write them off as just random bullshit, random tedious bullshit.
I wish I could have seen his face, but there's no time for that. How tall is this damn thing? I've been climbing forever.
Really? You're almost there. Now sit down. It's entertaining to witness someone becoming a legend. Doesn't happen often. First, I must praise you for having survived thus far.
This bullshit again. What do I have to tell you this time?
What makes you so desperate?
Isn't it obvious? I'm gonna get back what I lost.
Then let me ask. What are you living for?
What? What's the point of asking questions at this point in your game? Life isn't so simple that I can just boil it down that easily.
Just who are you?
What do you mean?
That's the curse. There's no escaping this place without having an answer of some sort. You may be different from the average man, but that doesn't mean I can let you go. I'll hear what you truly wish for.
This is the last question to freedom. Are you prepared to live the rest of your life in the peace that you wished for?
This question varies depending on your previous
Which
two
one?
answers. It's basically confirmation that this is what you really want.
This one?
And I'm usually not a guy to second guess myself.
That's your answer. Alright, I understand. Everything is prepared now. I can finally guide you to the stage where you'll fight him. There was once a man who took up this challenge, just like you. This man became a legend. He stopped being human and became one of us. Yes, he is Thomas Mutton, the one awaiting you at the next trial. Now that he has become one of us, we call him Dumuzi. All the traps were created by him. He knows this place through and through, making him a difficult opponent.
So he used to be a human. Well, I'm not gonna lose to him.
Again, that's a confirmation question, so if you say yes to peace and yes to chaos, it'll ask you what you really wish for. And if you say no to both of them, it'll ask you if you're prepared to seek the truth even if it causes you to be alone. But I'll get into ending territory in the next
You
video.
will now be faced with the creator of the great trials. Use all the techniques you've learned to avoid his fierce attacks. The time has come.
Starting to lose your nerve? Well, then, we meet again. I didn't think you'd actually make it here. That was a marvel to watch. Well, it seems the others were altogether too easy on you. So for tonight's extravaganza, I shall deal with you personally.
And you remember our deal, right?
As I said, you have nothing to be concerned with. After all, tonight you'll be dining on my mutton special. It's a pity. But try not to get too worked up over it.
Shut up! Let's get this over with already. I'll outrun you, too.
Catherine, wait for me.
Thomas Mutton has appeared. It's the killer. Do not die.
Okay, this is a death I left in here because I thought it'd be funny.
Boy, stop moving!
Because he continues to shoot after you die. But anyway, Thomas Mutton is of course the final boss. He's very tame at the beginning, but afterwards he gets some pretty bad attacks.
Right, I got it.
This boss is actually pretty difficult on hard mode, and it actually requires a little bit of technique of baiting his attacks to actually win. So it's like, first of all, he'll randomly change some blocks into another block type, and he changes it to bombs right away. Kind of don't want to step on as many of those as we can.
Right, I got it.
And this is another one of his attacks. Now the bad thing about that gun attack is that a lot of the time he will shoot and destroy a block that you actually need.
Right, I got it.
So sometimes I gotta bait him into shooting a block that I don't need, or just shooting the air. And sometimes if you wait around for him to shoot, you can lose your combo that way, which is a problem in and of itself. He's really hard if you can't figure that kind of stuff out, but yeah.
Right, I got it.
I have it figured out. Well, for the most part. This is a part that's really tricky, is when he turns blocks into crack blocks. But yeah, I did splice in the gold prize runs from my initial run, and then I also spliced in post-recording attempts at recording this, so that's probably why my score is so inconsistent throughout these stages. Not that it really matters, I'm just trying to... yeah. Not sure why I did that. Oh, okay. That kick attack you'll basically avoid if you just keep moving. It's honestly not as devastating as it looks. Like most bosses when they have attacks where they just go in and try to hit you like that. This level has 103 steps in it. I don't actually get the full combo, but I still get the gold prize. I miss it by like 3 steps. Just because I don't move fast enough toward the end, which you will see. Black hole blocks that you can't climb onto, and there's absolutely no way up. And this is why I lose combo, because I go for these freaking gold coins, and I don't move fast enough. But it's okay, because we still get gold prize. And we beat Thomas Mutton at his own game once and for all.
Curse you, sheep! How could this happen? How? Very well. This makes it war, boy. I swear in the name of Dumazid, the shepherd, consort of Ishtar. Your race is mine, punk. Prepare yourself!
Wait, there's more? Can't lose. Wait for me, Catherine. This tower is really tall. That Mutton asshole isn't gonna keep throwing these at me forever until I die, is he?
Don't worry, there will be an end to this. A pinnacle. The next stage will be your last, I assure you. So come, sit down.
Oh,
You're finally here. Above this place is a path that reaches to the heavens. You finally appeared. A man with potential. I've been waiting for you.
waiting for me, huh? Were you trying to kill me this whole time?
This is a sanctuary, where we give those with potential a baptism. And freedom. This is a game of death, where experience and intuition are your only tools to survive. There is no right and wrong. Tomorrow only comes for those with the power to overcome the challenge.
Yeah, I kinda already knew that. This is all a dream, in my head. If this is my dream, then no matter what comes my way, I know I'll be able to handle it.
You are bold. So different from the man who first entered here. My job here is done. You've successfully endured the baptism. Coming next will be the final trial of the heavens. This will be your last battle. I am always near you. I have many faces and many names. When this sanctuary is bathed in Ishtar's love, I'll see you again, in a place far removed from here.
Somewhere else?
Keep your eyes up, and go!
Hey, not to tell me twice. You sure love to talk right up to the end.
The final stage of the great trials is upon us. This is the ultimate test. Face the gods' full power with all your might. When you reach heaven's door, you will gain true freedom.
How long is this gonna go on?
This is tougher than I thought. This filthy cheater. faster than I expected.
Screw you! I'm not playing games here. I'm almost there. Who's gonna win tonight, bitch?
What are you talking about? I was just messing around. Just making you calm.
Take it easy there, Bright Eyes. This is the final battle? I've come this far. I'm not gonna die here, damn it! Catherine!
Vincent has appeared.
Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it.
I left that little bit at the end of the video in just because I wanted to listen to the music more. So now we have the true final boss, which is Dumazid. If you notice, Thomas Mutton is actually in the crown above Dumazid's head. I don't know what it is with Japanese things, when you have someone with all of this power and then they just turn into a monster. It's like, oh, but you were badass before, but okay. So, Dumazid right away has some pretty devastating attacks. Not that he unleashes them too often, but he has this Dumazid beam that destroys the whole stage. Well, he takes off a big chunk of it.
Alright, I got it.
This level is 148 steps. So this is one of the longest levels in the game. One of the hardest levels in the game. And probably one of the most challenging boss fights. Thankfully, this level isn't too forgiving. There aren't any surprise blocks on this level. Nor were there any surprise blocks in Thomas Mutton's stage. Now, Dumazid has this attack. Every time you pull a block out, a set of blocks change into another block. But it's not completely random. It does have a procedure. Cracked turns into dark. Dark turns into trap. Trap turns into ice. Ice turns into monster. Monster turns into spring. Spring turns into bomb. Bomb turns into cracked. Cracked turns into dark, and so on. So you can actually employ some pretty good strategy here, but you can also get really fucked over if you make a bad move. Like if you climbed over, if I tried to pull a block on top of that dark block, it would have turned into a trap block and it would have killed me.
Alright, I got it. Alright, I got it.
That monster block moved right before I could turn it into a spring. Not that I really needed a spring here, but it's really cool to do that. But don't over-rely on the curse. That's actually a thing that I tend to do, because sometimes I forget when the curse runs out. Although it is really easy to think that the curse is still on you because he pretty much casts the curse on you all the time. See that checkpoint? We don't need it. And the stairs are starting to get decorated with some black hole blocks at the sides. I'm pretty sure they're just there for aesthetic. You really shouldn't die to those black hole blocks since they're so far out of the way. Dumazid's kind of a weird looking motherfucker. You see, he has like half of a neck beard made out of sheep. So this move is basically PK Starstorm. It's actually not a very threatening attack, but sometimes when it's about to land on a block, Vincent will hesitate and not move, and sometimes that happens when you need to move. I have had a couple deaths on this boss because I tried to move to a block that the game wouldn't let me move on because, alright, this here, I was about to wait for the curse to wear out because I didn't want to pull that block on top of the trap block. I should have just waited for it. Not that it really mattered. I got up there either way. But yeah, like Thomas Mutton, once you, I wonder why, oh, I was trying to change it into monster and then into spring, so, okay. Still trying to avoid these bomb blocks, because they're still, even with all the support here, it's still kind of devastating to step on them.
Almost there.
And that's the end of Catherine. Enjoy the ending, guys.
Hell yeah! Serves you right!
I can't believe it!
Ah, sucks, don't it? I win, Mutton!
I can't lose. No, you'll never win, you bastard!
What are you, stupid? I already did beat you.
Shut up! You're an even bigger fool than I thought, you little wretch. You're not going to prevent me from saving your race by being stubborn.
Is that still what you think? Look, men and women, they're more complicated than you think.
You're just being selfish.
Alright, Mutton. What I want doesn't really matter. I mean, people's lives aren't planned out for them. There's no roadmap. Despite what you may think, we don't need any hurting. I mean, I can't claim to be the greatest guy in the world or anything, but I am human, and I'm free to choose how I live.
You insolent little man!
Well, thank you, but I still won. You made me go through these stupid dreams night after night. From now on, my life is my own.
Stop it!